All right, Dee, take it away.
Great, thank you, James. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the pre-bid and technical review meeting for the Chicago Department of Transportation Works Progress Administration Street Reconstruction for West Bryn Mawr Avenue, North Knox Avenue, West Bryn Mawr Avenue, and North Lawler Avenue. Contract number C-1628, and today is July 16, 2025, approximately 11 o'clock a.m. Our agenda is going to include introductions, procurement details, which I'll cover, compliance details, which our Director of Compliance will cover, technical review, which our project management team will cover, and then a Q&A session at the end. For introductions, we'll start with introductions. First, our PBC team. I'm Dee Taylor with both procurement and compliance. And if Ray Gitteroff is on the line, our executive director, please introduce yourself. If not, then we'll start with James Borkman, our director of procurement.
Good morning, everybody. James Borkman, PBC. We also have Deputy Director Patty Miguel and Minion from the procurement department.
Okay. The rest of our PBC team, please introduce yourselves.
Good morning, Patrice Dole, PBC Compliance.
Good morning, Robert Ochi, Project Management, PBC.
Good morning, William Green, Project Management, PBC.
Good morning, Donna Green, PBC Project Manager.
Javier Descoto, PBC Project Manager.
Okay, do we have anyone else from PBC? Okay, if not, our CDOT and partners, please introduce yourselves.
Good morning. This is Jacqueline Samuel. I am with CDOT, the WPA program manager, and I have with us our design team, Delta. Jeff, you want to start introducing your team?
Hello, this is Jeffrey Orzit with Grafe. I am the engineer of record. Also, we've got Jasbir and Barone of our team, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'll go ahead and start. Hi, everybody. My name is Miron Asnaga. I'm with Grafe. I'm a transportation designer.
You might be muted.
Good morning, guys. Sorry. This is Jasbir from Delta. I'm the project engineer.
Okay, thank you, everyone. If that concludes our partners for CDOT, we'll move on to, do we have any general contractors or subcontractors and suppliers on the line?
Not right now, Dee.
Okay, then we'll move on. We'll start with procurement details. The project overview for this project includes 2 locations: West Bryn Mawr Avenue from North Knox Avenue to Dead End, and then West Bryn Mawr Avenue from North Lawler Avenue, North LaPorte Avenue to Edens Parkway. Both locations are in Chicago. The general scope of work includes earth excavation, Portland cement concrete base course, hot mix asphalt surface course, sewer main, water main, and drainage structures, concrete curb and gutter, concrete sidewalks, brick pavers for North Knox Avenue only, tactile detectable warning surface system for curb ramps, concrete driveways and alleys, roadway lighting, thermoplastic pavement marking, signs, topsoil, sodding, tree removal, and planting. The contractor will be required to prepare a phasing and logistics plan within 30 days of issuance of the notice to proceed, which is the NTP, for review and approval by both CDOT and PBC prior to the mobilization and commencement of any work. The contractor shall also be responsible for providing critical submittals, including electrical lighting, which is poles and luminaires, sewer and water main, and concrete mix design as determined by the PBC within 30 days of issuance of the NTP. The project includes City of Chicago Department of Water Management, DWM, lead service line replacement work with 2 service lines at West Bryn Mawr Avenue, North Lawler Avenue, CDOT B5 253. DWM requires approximately 2 days per location to perform the work. DWM's work is anticipated to commence Q3 of 2025. And upon contract award of the new WPA projects, a meeting will be scheduled to review and confirm any and all coordination items, including DWM's planned work activities. The contractor will commence work on West Bryn Mawr Avenue and North Knox Avenue first in their sequence of work and coordinate all site logistics with CDOT and the PBC. Continuing our project overview, which includes the time of completion, we have a couple of milestones as well as substantial completion. Robert, I don't know if you would like to jump in here.
Sure, Dee, real quick. For these 2 projects, we have a time of completion must be achieved no later than November 28th, 2025. Scheduled milestones must be completed as follows. So schedule for milestone number 1, which consists of pre-construction, including permitting, construction submittals, materials, and equipment procurement, schedule preparation, mobilization, and utility coordination. That work may commence sooner than August 12th, 2025, and must be completed by September 1st, 2025. Again, the substantial completion date, which is the street reconstruction and associated work, may not commence any sooner than September 1st, 2025, and is required to be completed by November 28th, 2025. And our second milestone, which is milestone number 2, new landscaping work may not commence sooner than October 1st, 2025, and must be completed by November 28th, 2025.
Thank you, Robert. And so we will assess liquidated damages for failure to achieve anything Robert just mentioned. For substantial completion, you'll be penalized $1,500 per day. And for failure to achieve milestone dates, both milestone number 1 and milestone number 2, there'll be assessment of $500 per day. Regarding the availability of documents, our documents include Book 1, Book 2, and Book 3. Our Book 1, which is instructions to bidders, includes an introduction, the general project overview, submission requirements. A few highlights are the bid form, the MBE, WBE, EEO goals and requirements, and the community area map. Book 2 is our standard terms and conditions for contracts. Book 3 includes the technical specifications. And we also have construction drawings as part of the package of our documents. Okay. PBC's our current opportunities page will include this information. The website address is on the screen. And we also have a printer with an online plan room, and the printer is Crossroads Printing Technologies. Their website address as well as their physical address is on the screen. Also, the contact name for Crossroads is Christy Weber. Her phone is listed as 630-963-4700, and you can also email her at the address on the screen. Our documents are also available through our assist agencies. We partner with several agencies as listed on the screen, and you can also contact them for the documents. We also encourage you to contact our assist agencies anyway because their members include MBEs, WBEs that are required for participation on this contract. The technical review meeting will occur today, immediately following this meeting at approximately 11:30 a.m. There have been no site visits scheduled for this project. However, failure of the bidders to become familiar with the project shall not relieve or alter the bidder's responsibility for completing the work as required by the contract documents. Requests for information, which we call RFIs. Any questions that you have regarding the project must be directed to me. I am the sole point of contact. Again, my name is Dee Taylor, the contract officer for this project, and I can be contacted at dee.taylor@cityofchicago.org. The deadline for your RFI is July 29th, 2025 by 4:00 p.m. To date, no addenda has been issued for this project. However, if we do issue any addendums, you'll be notified through our PBC alerts, so it's important that you sign up for those. The bid due date and time. Your bid is due on Tuesday, August 5th, 2025 at 11:00 a.m. The bid opening will be streamed live and will be recorded and available on our website for viewing on PBC's homepage at www.pbcchicago.com and also on our current opportunities page. The address is on the screen, but you can reach that through the PBC's homepage. Bid submission requirements. The bid must be submitted electronically with one email that includes the following 3 documents. One complete copy of the bid document with original signatures in blue ink or digital signature. You must include your bid bond with your bid. And the PDF document should be a searchable PDF doc and not a scanned copy, with the exception of documents only available as a copy, such as licenses. One complete copy of the master bid form document must be submitted in PDF format, and one complete copy of the master bid form document must be submitted in Excel format. You will email your bid and documents to 2 places. One directly to me at dee.taylor@cityofchicago.org and also pbc-procurement@cityofchicago.org. If for any reason you're unable to submit your bid electronically, you may request instructions on how to submit a hard copy of your bid. It must be in writing to me, again at d.taylor@cityofchicago.org. And our Director of Procurement, James Borkman, will make the decision on whether or not you'll be able to submit a hard copy. The pre-award meeting. For the pre-award meeting will be Wednesday, August 6, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. It's a virtual meeting that's subject to change via addendum. Again, please make sure you're signed up for the PBC alerts so you'll get that information directly. The pre-award meeting is for the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, and you should be required to have at a minimum the project executive, the project manager, if known, and your cost estimator in attendance. We want you to invite the principals of all the MBE and WBE subcontractors that you list on your Schedule D. We want you to provide and be prepared to discuss the schedule of values, if applicable, for the project, and also to provide a list of pre-award meeting attendees in advance of the meeting. The notice of award, the anticipated schedule for that, which is also the NOA, is August 2025, following the PBC's Board of Commissioners meeting. The successful GC will be required to provide a compliant certificate of insurance and payment and performance bond within 7 days of issuance of the notice of award. Some highlights from both our Book 1 and Book 2 of the project include our estimated construction budget. You can find all of this information in Book 1. For the estimated construction budget, it's on page 2. It's 3.4 million up to 3.5 million. Our mandatory project staffing is also in Book 1 on page 4. Our scheduling software requirements is on page 4 as well. Liquidated damages, also on page 4, and our prevailing wage rates can be found on page 5, as well as on page 43, where we have a direct link to the Illinois Department of Labor's website. Joint venture opportunities are also encouraged for the project. You would have to submit a Schedule B, which is inside the documents in Book 1 on page 28. It's a joint venture affidavit. You also must submit your JV agreement as well as your certification letter for your MBEs and WBEs. A few highlights include the bid form. This is a sample of the bid form. And as you see, there are 2 locations listed. The bid form will automatically total at the bottom from all of the forms that you will also complete. On this bid form, you must submit your firm, you must complete the area that says your firm name. Also, at the bottom of the bid form, you'll see the surety information and bidder's information. You'll see the tabs here on your screen. Each street has a separate tab. You have one for West Bryn Mawr Avenue, North Knox, and one for West Bryn Mawr Avenue, North Lawler. You enter your unit pricing for both streets, each of the 2 streets, and the master bid form, as I mentioned, will automatically populate and total the information. This is a sample of the schedule of prices. You'll have a schedule of prices for each location. You enter your unit pricing where the arrow is pointing to the oblong circle. You enter your unit pricing for each line, and the sheet will automatically total at the bottom. Here is a sample again of the master bid form. It shows you where the totals from all locations will automatically populate, where the circle is. Also, again, you must include your surety information, your surety firm's name and address, and also your information, your firm's name and the date. This is a sample of the award criteria figure form. And this form, as you see, you will enter the maximum amount for each, maximum percentage for your minority journeyman, your minority apprentice, your minority laborers. That's a maximum of 70%. You also have to enter information for your female journeymen, your female apprentices, and your female laborers on the project. And those maximums are 15%. And again, the amount will total at the bottom of the form. The basis of award can also be found in Book 1 on page 8. The award will be made to the responsive and responsible bidder submitting the lowest grand total award criteria figure. That can be found on line 11 of the bid form, whose corresponding grand total base bid, which is on line 10 of the bid form, is within the available funds for each street and avenue and is otherwise responsive to all requirements of the contract documents. Firms are required to fill out the entire bid form in order to be considered responsive. However, the Commission reserves the right to reject any and all bids wherever such rejection is in the best interest of the Commission. Bids that the PBC considers to be materially unbalanced will be rejected. At this time, I will turn the presentation over for our compliance portion, and that will be to our Director of Compliance, Patrice Doyle.
Hello. So for this project, the MBE and WBE goals are 26% MBE, 6% WBE, and the PBC only accepts certifications from City of Chicago or Cook County, and they must be certified in the scope of work that they're performing. For additional information, you can look in Book 2, Article 23 regarding the MBE and WBE participation. As Dee mentioned earlier, for this project, you can submit a maximum of 70% minority journey workers, 70% minority apprentice, 70% minority laborers, 15% female journey workers, 15% female apprentice and 15% female laborers. You don't have to do the maximum. You can identify what participation you believe that you can achieve on this project, because once you submit those requirements, those goals, and the contract is awarded, they then become requirements. There is a 7.5 community hiring requirement and a 50% City of Chicago residency requirement. And all of these percentages are based on the total hours performed on the job for city residency and community hiring. And then the 70% is based on each category or whatever goal you set, as well as female. This is the community area map for this project. This is where that 7.5% community hiring should be achieved. And again, that is based on the total hours work performed on this project. We have B2G now as our MBE WBE payment tracking system. Firms that are MBE WBE that are established businesses, meaning that they are certified by City of Chicago or Cook County, and they are in the process of graduating from the program, they will receive that credit amount. For instance, first year established businesses receive 75%, second year 50%, and third year 25%. So when you receive certification information regarding MBE or WBE, make sure you are identifying if they are an established business and what credit amount that you can receive. Manufacturers receive 100%, suppliers 60%, and brokers 0. You must submit a Schedule D as well as a Schedule C. This is the Schedule D. So this is where that credit amount will appear. So again, for an established business, if their contract value is $100,000 and they're in their second year of the program and they're only receiving 50% credit for MBE or WBE participation, $50,000 will appear on the Schedule D. And this form should be completed by the general contractor submitting the bid. This is the Schedule C, which the subcontractor should complete. Their total contract value should appear on here. So again, another example is if you have a supplier and their contract value is $100,000, the $100,000 should appear on the Schedule C, and the 60%, which is $60,000, should credit amount should appear on the Schedule D. As you see, the highlighted sections for subcontracting levels should be completed if they are subcontracting out work, not supplies, but if they're subcontracting out work to a non-MBE or MBE or WBE, that percentage amount should appear in those subcontracting levels. If they're not subcontracting out any work and they're performing all of the work themselves, then the form still needs to be completed, but at 0. Also, as noted, Dee mentioned earlier that the pre-award meeting is Wednesday, August the 6th at 10:30 a.m. Please make sure if you are awarded the contractors and you're collecting their Schedule Cs that you let them know of the pre-award date, because they should appear at that pre-award meeting. Again, MBE, WBE subcontractors, if awarded the contract, should appear at the pre-award meeting.
Thank you, Patrice. Okay, again, just a reminder that I am the sole point of contact for this project at PBC, and I can be emailed at dee.taylor@cityofchicago.org. At this time, we've reached our portion of the meeting for our technical review, and I will turn it over to Robert Ochi, our project manager. Robert?
All right, thank you, Dee. So just to go over the project locations again. First project is West Bryn Mawr Avenue from North Lawler Avenue, North LaPorte Avenue to Edens Parkway. And then the second project location is West Bryn Mawr Avenue from North Knox Avenue to Dead End. I'll introduce Jeff Orzik from Grafe Engineering and his team to go over more of the specific details for the technical review. So Jeff.
Thank you, Robert. The first location we'll look at is Bryn Mawr at Knox to a dead end. If you're not familiar with Bryn Mawr is north of Foster and south of Peterson. This location is east of Cicero, and it's immediately north of the North Branch of the Chicago River. So what we'll be taking a look at are the existing conditions, the proposed conditions after the project is completed, and any local coordination. The roadway is an asphalt pavement with narrow width between 18 and 21 feet, is shown in the detail, and there's going to be one intersection at Knox Avenue, which is a cul-de-sac road, and this basically will extend west to a dead end. The existing conditions and concerns are that the narrow width of the road causes vehicles to park in the grass, and this also, rips up the grass, and there's also the lack of drainage has caused poor pavement conditions. You can see the cracking in the photos there, and also the lack of the curb and gutter causes flooding on the street, and especially onto private property, which is a concern. For the proposed conditions, we're going to alleviate this by installing curb and gutter and directing the flow into we'll be directing the flow into the curb system, so it'll keep the water from going onto the private property. And this will also allow us to reconstruct the driveway and the alley aprons to city standards for drainage purposes and also improvements of condition. The sidewalk is going to be reconstructed fully to provide continual access along the south side of Bryn Mawr. This will help the pedestrians. Also, we'll be installing some ADA compliant access. As you can see, we're continuing through on this slide all the way through on the south side. You see there's the little traffic circle that's on Bryn Mawr at the flare out. One of the primary goals of this project is also to help the residents with a continual ADA compliant sidewalk, as I mentioned before. On Knox Avenue, we are going to be constructing sidewalk. There's not pavement work, there's no pavement work, I should say, but there is new sidewalk all the way around through the cul-de-sac. The photos show that we're going to be constructing modern ADA ramps for ADA compliance at the intersections, and we would also make these ADA compliant locations at driveways and any alley locations. And also, by installing new pavement markings, it'll help delineate the for the best pedestrian crossings. There is no parallel parking on either, no allowed parallel parking under the existing conditions and the proposed conditions. There will be no parallel parking either. The second location is also Bryn Mawr. This is immediately west of Cicero. You can see Cicero is 50 over there. It's also between Peterson and Foster, and this location is immediately south of the North Branch of the Chicago River. So it's just it goes from the Edens Parkway to LaPorte, And in this portion of the technical review, we'll be looking at the existing conditions again, the proposed conditions, and local coordination. The roadway varies in width from a 25 to 45 foot width. And so it's wider than the previous location. And it also intersects with Lamont Avenue. And we've got existing asphalt pavement. We can see the alligator cracking of it and caused by poor drainage. Thank you. There's narrow locations of the roadway, even though it varies. Without curb and gutter, the water stands on the pavement, doesn't drain well, and it also backs up onto residential lots, and it causes flood. It can cause flooding. Okay. For this location, we're going to be widening the road to a 27-foot width and installing curb and gutter. This will help channelize the water into the curb and gutter and lead it into the drainage system. On the bottom portion of this slide, you can see the new 12-inch extra strength vitrified clay pipe being put in to help gather the water. Also, you're able to see some of the proposed water main. There's also be street lighting improvements on this portion of the project. We are going to be installing new sidewalks on Bryn Mawr in locations where the existing sidewalk isn't in good condition. This will provide improved pedestrian access throughout the project. Okay, and this slide we see areas where there has to be additional sidewalk in a greater extent. Also, we see the alley and driveway, and so we'll be putting in appropriate ADA ramps at facilities at the alleys and also at Lamont, which isn't on this screen, but we'd be improving it to modern standards. Okay. In these situations, we see some of the poor conditions, the poor typical conditions we have at an alley where we don't have a modern crossing, and you see the drainage, we see all the mud. So we see these things that accumulate, make things tougher for pedestrians. And so these locations are going to be reconstructed with modern standards so that pedestrians are able to traverse the locations, especially for people with ADA necessities. Would also be adding pavement markings also. Okay. Also, as part of this project, we are going to be adding 18 new trees being planted primarily along the north side as shown on this detail below. The kinds of trees we're going to be using, we're planting some bur oaks and some hackberries. The parkways will also be resodded. For the parking conditions, we're going to be maintaining the existing conditions, which is basically parallel parking, always allowed on the south side of Bryn Mawr, and there will not be any permitted parallel parking along the north edge.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. We have now reached the Q&A portion of the meeting. Are there any questions for any of the presenters today?
No questions in the chat, Dee.
Okay, thank you, James. Okay, then that concludes our pre-bid and technical review meeting today for CDOT's Work Progress Administration, street reconstruction for Bryn Mawr Avenue, North Knox Avenue, and Bryn Mawr, North Lawler Avenue. Thank you everyone for participating. And have a great day.